Greed. That single word just detonated across the luxury fashion world, and at the epicenter sits the unmistakable bright orange Hermès shopping bag. Social media is ablaze after pop icon and fashion mogul Rihanna, once known for casually carrying Birkins like everyday totes, appeared to draw a hard line in the couture sand. In a midnight Instagram story that vanished within hours, she allegedly called out the astronomical markup of designer handbags, refusing to pay what she implied was a house deposit for something that costs less than a MacBook to produce. The internet's reaction was instant and seismic. Screenshots of the post spread like wildfire, with fans, fashion insiders, and critics flooding platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. The phrase "Rihanna boycotts Hermes" skyrocketed in searches, setting off a firestorm of debates around luxury pricing, exploitation, and transparency in high fashion. What really sparked outrage wasn't just Rihanna's stance, it was what came next. Viral videos from Chinese artisans began surfacing, breaking down the true cost of producing a Hermes Birkin bag, roughly $1,400 in materials and labor. The revelation shattered long-held illusions about exclusivity and craftsmanship. Viewers were stunned to learn that luxury pricing has less to do with rare materials or artisanal mastery, and more to do with branding, perceived status, and profit margins. Consumers, once dazzled by the mystique of French fashion houses, now felt duped. The narrative swiftly shifted from admiration to indignation, as millions began questioning whether the world's most coveted handbag was nothing more than an overpriced symbol of greed. And just like that, the once unshakable foundation of luxury fashion began to crack, under the weight of truth, transparency, and one global superstar refusing to play along. Holong Apparel, a supplier behind some of the most popular yoga suits for brands like Fila and Under Armour. Then there's Home and Crafting, which produces yoga apparel for none other than Lululemon. Lululemon sells a jacket for nearly $100 that only costs about $6 to $5 to make with similar fabric and quality. But how did we get here? How did the woman practically synonymous with sky-high style slam the very symbol of elite chic? It starts in a dimly lit factory on the outskirts of Guangzhou. A leather worker casually filmed a $38,000 Birkin cost analysis that rattled the foundations of French luxury couture. $1,400. That's the shocking all-in cost revealed by a now viral Chinese TikTok artisan who peeled back the illusion of high-end craftsmanship in real time. In front of a humble camera setup, he sliced into Italian calfskin, the exact leather luxury houses brag about. $450 for a hide, he states casually. He threads a needle with filo chinois, Hermès' signature French wax thread, just $25 a spool. He adds polished stainless steel hardware, $150. The zipper, the suede lining, the precision edge paint, each component labeled and costed. Materials plus labor totaled just over $1,400. The artisan puts the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete. 4 hours just for the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on training and muscle memory to make every batch. The internet goes silent. Then it detonates. Viewers erupt in the comments. Wait, we're paying over $36,000 for branding? The video is clipped, reposted, and goes mega viral under the hashtag #ExposedLuxury. In under 24 hours, it's shared by influencers, stitched into reaction videos, and dissected by style critics. Western audiences gasp in disbelief. The idea that their beloved luxury bags, symbols of elite status and exclusivity, might be connected to mass production in China feels like a betrayal. But in contrast, Chinese viewers aren't shocked. They're amused. For them, this revelation isn't breaking news. It's long been an open secret. Allegedly, almost finished Hermès bags are being assembled in Chinese factories and then discreetly shipped back to official Hermès facilities in France for the final touches: logo installation, quality checks, and repackaging. It's a strategic move to legally retain the Made in France label. But behind the branding lies a truth that threatens to unravel the decades-long mystique that Hermès has built, stitch by carefully marketed stitch. The camera keeps rolling. A Chinese craftsman, speaking plainly but confidently, walks viewers through his workspace. He pans to a wall lined with shelves stacked with what appear to be flawless Birkin bags in multiple colors, leathers, and sizes. The stitching is immaculate, the materials are genuine, and each bag looks virtually identical to the ones retailing for six figures in Hermès boutiques. Then comes the kicker. With a knowing smirk, he drops a bomb that shakes the luxury industry to its core. These bags are made using the same materials with the same craftsmanship, just without the Hermès stamp. You want luxury? He says. Here it is. No logo tax. The message is clear. The perceived value of these bags lies not in their construction, but in the brand name alone. 2 viral TikToks later, and the internet is spiraling. Users on Reddit, Twitter, and fashion forums begin dissecting the footage, zooming in on details, comparing seams, materials, and handle curves. Influencers and fashion analysts chime in, many admitting that even trained eyes would struggle to tell the difference. The fallout is massive. Search trends explode with terms like Hermès Factory China, Birkin bag real cost, and luxury logo tax. What was once a quiet whisper about luxury brands outsourcing to Asia has become a deafening global conversation. This wasn't just an expose. It was a direct digital Molotov cocktail launched from factory floors in China to the polished glass storefronts of Hermès boutiques in Paris, New York, and Beverly Hills. And the timing? Devastating. In an era where consumers are demanding more transparency, sustainability, and ethical production, this revelation couldn't have hit at a worse moment for Hermès. What used to be seen as the pinnacle of European craftsmanship is now under the microscope, with critics asking uncomfortable but necessary questions. If these bags are nearly indistinguishable from the originals, crafted with care in the same conditions, what exactly are customers paying for? The logo? The fantasy? The illusion of exclusivity? The brand's silence in the wake of the viral storm only adds fuel to the fire. What was once a flex is now a flaw, and the world is watching the luxury facade crack, one TikTok at a time. Faced with a spiraling scandal that could shake the foundation of its carefully curated prestige, most global brands would leap into PR crisis mode. Not Hermès. In true old money fashion, they opted for silence. Stone-cold silence. But it wasn't just ignorance, it was defiance. On May 1st, as TikTok videos exposing alleged Chinese manufacturing ties went viral, Hermès quietly rolled out a price hike across all US boutiques. No press release, no customer notice, just discreet new tags with steeper numbers. The Kelly bag saw a 5% increase. The Constance? Up 7%. But it was the iconic Togo Birkin 30 that triggered an uproar. Its price jumped from $12,600 to $13,150 overnight. The timing? Unapologetic. The message? Unmistakable. The internet erupted. On our luxury fashion-savvy Redditors launched threads titled, "Hermès just gaslit us all," and they doubled down on robbery. Across platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, users dissected the brand's bold move. Screenshots of factory addresses surfaced, including links to Shandong, China, where Hermès products are allegedly made alongside items for Chanel, IKEA, and Zara. One viral post read, "This was my first time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went." Users began uploading side-by-side comparisons of factory cost breakdowns versus the new Hermès price tags. One split-screen TikTok captioned it best, "They're getting dragged for scamming us, and they raised the price. This is wild." Defenders of the brand tried to hold the line. "It's about exclusivity," they claimed. "It's due to global inflation." But that narrative struggled to hold water when consumers were watching alleged videos of identical craftsmanship at a fraction of the cost. The myth of hand-stitched exclusivity was unraveling in real time, and the brand's silence only magnified the distrust. Even longtime Hermès collectors began questioning their loyalty. Why stay loyal to a brand that raises prices mid-scandal, while refusing to address legitimate concerns about transparency, ethics, and manufacturing practices? This wasn't just about handbags anymore. It became a cultural moment, a reckoning. Hermès, once synonymous with old-world luxury, is now the centerpiece of a global debate on value, branding, and the true cost of fashion. With every TikTok upload and every Reddit post, the brand's aura dims just a little more. In the luxury world, perception is everything. And Hermès is learning that even the most elite empires can't afford to ignore the digital voice of the masses. As consumers grow more informed and outspoken, silence isn't just risky, it's a statement. And right now, that statement is echoing across every boutique from Manhattan to Milan. The same Rihanna who once turned airport terminals into personal runways, toting not one but 3 Hermes Birkins like oversized accessories, has flipped the narrative. The billionaire mogul and fashion icon stunned fans with a single striking Instagram story. A black screen with a simple yet explosive caption. "My closet's on strike until Hermès answers for the greed. I'm out." Coming from a woman who once made the Birkin the centerpiece of her Super Bowl backstage style, this wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a cultural detonation. The message was crystal clear. Even the queen of luxury has a limit. And it sent shockwaves through both the fashion world and the internet. Within the hour, the aftershocks started. Fenty Beauty's Instagram page posted a cryptic tease. "Ethical luxury coming soon," prompting instant speculation that Rihanna was planning to launch her own sustainable high-end fashion alternative. Tabloids exploded with headlines like, "Rihanna abandons the Birkin," while fans and fashion insiders scrambled to decode the deeper implications. On fashion Twitter, where status symbols are gospel, the post was received like a war cry. When a global mogul publicly disowns the crown jewel of designer bags, it signals a seismic shift. And the ripple effect was just beginning. Influencers and celebrities took notice, fueling a digital wildfire. Cardi B retweeted the post with a single microphone emoji, signaling solidarity or perhaps amplifying the mic drop. Billie Eilish, known for her own bold fashion takes, responded with an ominous green heart. Zendaya liked Rihanna's story, then mysteriously unliked it minutes later, sparking intense fan speculation. Meanwhile, Kim Kardashian remained silent, but eagle-eyed followers noticed something curious. In her most recent carousel post, a signature Birkin she'd previously worn was conspicuously absent. Whether intentional or not, every like, retweet, and deleted post became a headline. Then came the counterstrike. Jeffree Star, known for his lavish lifestyle and jaw-dropping luxury hauls, posted a selfie inside his Wyoming vault, lined with what he claimed was $1 million worth of Hermes Birkins. His caption read, "Some of us still like quality." The internet split in two. While some defended Hermes and the craftsmanship it represents, others saw the moment as a turning point in the conversation around wealth, excess, and corporate greed. Fashion insiders began whispering about Fashion Week front-row drama. Would Hermes lose its star-studded presence? As the fallout grows, one thing is clear. Rihanna didn't just post a story. She fired the first shot in what might be luxury fashion's most disruptive reckoning yet. That same morning, Hermes reportedly convened an emergency crisis integrity council behind closed doors. The luxury giant knew it was facing a storm unlike any other. Page 6 leaked details of the meeting, revealing internal fears that quarterly revenues could nosedive by double digits if the boycott gained traction. The financial world took notice. Hermes shares dropped over 6% on the stock market before noon, a rare blow for a brand known for price stability and bulletproof prestige. CNBC analysts dissected the fallout live, while Chinese media platforms like Post added fuel to the fire, calling out the brand's Made in US tags as marketing fiction and openly mocking Western luxury narratives that had long glossed over globalized supply chains. Meanwhile, titans like LVMH and Chanel stayed silent, watching nervously from the sidelines, hoping their own cost structures wouldn't be next to unravel. Behind the scenes, investor circles buzzed with leaked spreadsheets comparing estimated production costs versus Hermes's sky-high retail prices. And the math? Devastating. Bombs, bills of materials, revealed margins so extreme they sparked comparisons to tech monopolies, not handbags. Inside Hermes's Paris HQ, one executive reportedly muttered, "This is our Lehman moment." The brand's carefully curated aura of exclusivity and craftsmanship had collided head-on with digital transparency, and the cracks were now visible to the world. Luxury's biggest secret, its true cost of production. was no longer secret. Across the Pacific, Chinese manufacturers seized the moment with striking confidence. With viral traction at their backs, they went beyond cost analyses. They began releasing complete production blueprints, full bombs, not just for Hermes, but for Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, and Prada. These weren't anonymous claims. Each upload came with supplier invoices, cost per unit breakdowns, and high-resolution time-lapse videos showing the entire process from raw materials to final stitch. Jing Daily, a top-tier publication covering the Chinese fashion market, gave the uprising a name: Luxuries Made in China Moment. These weren't counterfeiters. They were the real artisans behind luxury's invisible labor force, now stepping into the spotlight with evidence in hand. And what emerged wasn't a passing controversy, it was a transparency revolution. In a world where consumer awareness is at an all-time high, the revelations hit with the force of a reckoning. One factory live-streamed a 24-hour production marathon, crafting 50 flawless Dior saddlebags start to finish. As thousands watched, a narrator's voice cut through. Western brands prove these aren't your specs. We just make it better, faster, cheaper, and with fewer lies. This wasn't just about fashion anymore. It was about truth versus illusion, value versus markup, and the collapsing wall between branding and reality. For the first time in luxury history, the power was shifting, and the world was watching it unfold in real time. The comment section was absolute chaos. Thousands of viewers tuned into the viral livestream, spamming laughing emojis and quoting the factory cost breakdowns like gospel. So, Dior wants $5,400 for a bag that costs $400 to make? One user typed, igniting a wave of similar reactions across platforms like TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. It wasn't just outrage, it was catharsis. Shoppers had long suspected luxury prices were inflated, but now they had receipts, literal cost per unit data, streamed live from factory floors. The illusion of exclusivity was cracking under the weight of raw numbers, and the internet was eating it up. Meanwhile, legal departments at Hermès, Dior, and other luxury houses scrambled to respond. Offices in Paris and New York reportedly went into overdrive, but it was already a losing battle. The global nature of these leaks made enforcement nearly impossible. Stitching patterns? Not copyrightable. Zipper placements? Not protected. The leaked specifications had already circulated on black market sourcing sites for years. Telegram channels exploded in popularity, hosting entire dropshipping ecosystems that bloomed overnight. Sellers weren't faking bags anymore. They were producing non-branded replicas with the exact same materials and construction techniques, and selling them for 1/10 the retail price. Even the most loyal Western consumers started to crack. Once symbols of wealth and exclusivity, Birkins and saddlebags now became points of quiet rebellion. Facebook groups and Reddit threads lit up with buyers bragging about their new finds, factory-grade dupe kits ethically sourced and outrageously affordable. One user posted, "Why pay $13,000 for a Hermès bag when I can fund the revolution and still look rich?" And that was the new mindset. These weren't knockoffs, they were luxury without the markup, and the people wearing them weren't ashamed. They were proud to be part of a movement that questioned everything the luxury world had taught them to worship. What began as a pair of TikTok videos had now spiraled into a full-scale reckoning. Hermès, Dior, Chanel, all were exposed not for quality, but for the audacity of their markups. And the scariest part for brands? The customers weren't just watching, they were participating. This wasn't a boycott led by press outlets or watchdog organizations. It was a grassroots uprising led by the very people luxury brands once courted. On May 3rd, the movement hit a milestone. The hashtag Boycott Hermes surpassed 8 million mentions across social media platforms. The message was loud and clear. The luxury elite no longer owned the narrative. The people did. This wasn't just internet outrage. It was a real-world consumer mutiny. Flagship stores from New York to Dubai looked like luxury ghost towns. Influencers filmed themselves walking through empty boutiques, racks of untouched merchandise, confused sales associates whispering behind cash wraps like something catastrophic had just happened. And it had, Because this wasn't just about Hermès anymore. It was about all of luxury being exposed as a margin-obsessed machine. At Rebag, one of the top resale platforms, sellers panicked. Birkin offers dropped by 22% overnight. Investors once calling Birkin safer than stocks? They wanted out. The resale bubble, long inflated by exclusivity and mystique, was deflating in real time. No one knew where the bottom was. Meanwhile, Google Trends blew up. The term Fenty handbag pre-order spiked by 600%, and not by accident. Rihanna's team teased a transparent pricing Fenty drop. One hint on her story said it all. Luxury should empower, not manipulate. You'll see. That single post sent ripples through the industry. Fast fashion brands like Zara, Shine, and Mango pounced. Within days, they launched look-alike Birkin-style bags. The anti-bag, no logo luxe, Revolt totes, each priced under $60. The message was clear. Why spend $40,000 to feel important when $40 can make a better statement? Luxury brands, once untouchable icons perched high on gilded pedestals, suddenly looked like emperors with no clothes. For decades, names like Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton sold more than fashion. They sold fantasy. But now, that fantasy is being dismantled, not by rivals, not by critics, but by the very consumers who once lined up outside boutiques for a taste of status. It's not just the price tags they're rejecting anymore, it's the entire structure, the branding, the artificial exclusivity, the illusion of scarcity. And for Hermès, the throne it once occupied, it's not just cracked, it's being torn apart piece by the same hands that used to worship it. This isn't just a PR scandal, it's a cultural shift. For years, luxury thrived on mystique. The unspoken belief that behind those five-figure handbags were centuries of heritage and unmatched artisanship. But in a single week, that spell was broken. A factory livestream in Guangdong, a viral TikTok hashtag, and one fearless mogul, Rihanna, was all it took to peel back the curtain. Her boycott didn't just make headlines, it ignited a firestorm that burned through decades of brand mythology. What was once whispered in niche forums is now being shouted across millions of screens. Luxury isn't always what it seems. Even more devastating for the industry? This time, the narrative didn't come from investigative journalists or activist watchdogs. It came from inside. Factory workers, everyday consumers, and global influencers pulling back the velvet rope. TikTok didn't just expose Hermès, it democratized the truth. Now, with production specs, pricing spreadsheets, and behind-the-scenes videos going viral, brands can't hide behind glossy magazine spreads and red carpet placements. The audience is informed, empowered, and unafraid to ask the one question luxury never wanted to answer. What are we really paying for? In the end, this isn't just about Hermès. It's about the entire luxury ecosystem confronting a new reality. Transparency is the new currency. And once consumers get a taste of the truth, there's no going back. As our Boycott Hermes continues to trend in dupe culture, evolves into a full-blown counter-movement, one thing is clear. The age of blind luxury worship is over. The revolution isn't coming. It's already here, and it's being stitched in real time.